they charge a lot, so I wanted to see how this one works. So I guess it's just all right. Cool. Hey, let's see if this works. Hey, and with that note, here we go.
Can you send me the link so I share it on my story as well?
I got you. I'm gonna send it to you right now. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Football or Soccer, man. It's
Yeah.
um, it's gonna be a hell of a stream. There's a lot of things to talk about, to be honest. Last time, I was here with Mo. The manager was still here. It was very sad settings. But yeah, let me introduce the panel real quick. So we got Mo Cisse from London. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm alright, Kelvin. How are you doing? How have you been?
Pretty good. I'm much better now, to be honest. And then on the other hand, we got my boy Pat. What's up, Pat? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, Patty Rican, because I'm not no garbage, Patty Rican. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. Puerto Rico, beautiful island. So,
I, f- I feel you,
but
bro. And Jersey boy. That's why I got that turnpike in the back, cause we Jersey boys. You feel me?
yeah,
Word,
yeah,
word.
man.
But
Happy
yeah,
to
man,
be
just
here.
word. There's a lot of things that we got to talk about for sure. First off, we haven't really spoken about the sacking of Eric Ten Hag, so I just wanted to hear what you guys had to say about that. Just pass it by real quick before we talk about the new appointment. So Mo, so how do you feel about that? Like, I know you wanted him out, like this season after a couple games and stuff like that. I've been pretty consistent with wanting him out and stuff like that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the whole sacking of Eric Ten Hag? Was it like justified, or like was it ruthless? What do you think?
Nah, he's been overdue. He was supposed to leave like after the FA Cup game. Even for me, I've been wanting him out since we played Coventry. Before we went to the FA Cup final, like the quarter final we played against Coventry at Wembley, I was there and I know how stressful it was from 3-0 up to 3-3 against Coventry, going to like penalties with Coventry. That really shows like we've lost our standard. I really wanted him after. I wanted him out after that game, but like, hey, Ineos extended his contract like during the summer, and they've kicked him out after 9 games. He deserves to leave.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that he deserved to leave and stuff like that. What about you, Pat? What do you feel about the whole sacking?
I think the FA Cup gave him a lifeline. The FA Cup victory definitely gave him a lifeline. I think we were riding on the vibes of that win. The Coventry game, we just squeaked it out. We barely just got by. And, he was lucky, honestly, to even still stick around. You kind of had the notion, especially with Ineos coming in, setting up the footballing structure that they had, and just basically looking and talking to other managers while he was still employed. It kind of gave you the idea that they were uncertain with him. I think maybe the terms of some of the other guys, namely Tuchel, might have been a little bit too much. But as the season went on, Ten Hag just did not get the results. And I'll be honest, I think once he went from Eric Ten Hag to Eric Forhag, it was only a matter of time because he was running out of hogs, and here we are. We're all out of hogs, and he's out of a job, unfortunately. Now, I thank him for the 2 cup victories. I think he meant well, but I think ultimately, for the standards of a club like Manchester United, it's just not enough.
Eric Ten spliffs. That's what he was smoking, bro. He was on some other stuff, like for real, bro.
Yeah.
Not, but for real, I wanted I've been saying it for the longest, like since last year. I saw that the even with the structure, I felt like it wouldn't get the best out of everything, out of all that we have. So for me, I was like very calling out Ineos. I know Ineos just came out and just became in charge, but I was actually calling them out. I was like, hey, this is on them because they're keeping him and they're allowing us to like be in this position. So for me, I thought it was a little too late. You know what I mean? Obviously we can think in hindsight now. I wanted to go into the new manager, but what do you guys think? Do you guys think it was too late, or was this an L, like a mistake? You think this is a mistake that Ineos did to kind of like give him the new season, or do you think they should have gotten rid of him in the summer? What do you think, Mo?
Nah, this is absolutely a mistake from Ineos because you know how much did Ineos paid to get Ten Hag off? They paid almost 17 million pounds to get him off his contract. And then why did you extend his contract if you wanted to get rid of him? And then we have to pay how much, £8 million to Sporting Lisbon to get Ruben Amorim. So how much have we spent? We spent almost like 25 million for no reason. We could have spent 10 million in summer to Sporting Lisbon and get Ruben Amorim. He could have had time to go like on preseason with the players. He could have bring his own players that he wanted. But now look, is he gonna use Anthony? I highly doubt if he's gonna use Anthony. Is Mazarawi his type of player? I doubt it. Is listen, what's the name? Delete his type of like centre back that he wants. I doubt that. Ogati, even though I probably like he worked with Ogati at Sporting Lisbon, but I doubt if he's gonna want to use Ogati in this setup in the Premier League. This is a big mistake from Ineos. I'm not gonna lie. Extending Eric Ten Hag's contract in summer was a big mistake, and I know they will regret it.
Listen, I agree with you 100% because I've been saying it all this time. And for me, it's like we applied Ruben Amorim, right? It's already like October, not even November, and it's still beginning of the season. Why couldn't you do that in the summer? You know what I mean? Like if he was like very adamant on staying or something, or maybe it was because they wanted to save some money because of the release cost or whatever. Like you said, Mo, they ended up extending his contract and ended up paying him out like the 10 million or whatever it was that they have to pay him out. So for me, it's like if Ruben Amorim was your guy all along, why didn't you just get him from the get? You know what I mean, in the summer. But what do you think, Pat? Is this an L on Ineos?
I think for as good as they've done thus far, this is their first major L. It really is. This and also not signing a true striker, a true out and out proven striker for the Premier League. I think that we create a ton of opportunities, but we don't finish anything because Xerxes and Hoyland, excuse me, for as good as they are, they don't have that consistency, let's say, of an Ivan Tony or a guy like that could have come in and could have bagged a bunch of goals, and maybe a lot of those draws that we had would have been turned into 3 points. That aside, I just think that they rode the vibes train. They were like, "Hey, this guy did the thing against City. It was an improbable situation. Let's give him another go." And I think really, I think the guy that they wanted was Tuchel, if I'm being honest. But I
Yeah, me
think
too. Me too. I
I
think
think
that.
Tuchel wanted either a lot of money or he was holding out for the England job. I think maybe he grew tired of club football and the revolving door that is club football. But yeah, you have to look at this and you have to say that this is certainly Ineos's first L as far as Manchester United's concerned.
Forward because it feels like, bro, it feels like you're out of jail or something. I don't know if like I don't know, like it just feels. I feel free. Like it was crazy because I was just, I was dropping off. I woke up in the morning. I'm on my way to work. I'm on my way to drop off my girlfriend to work, and then I went to go to my job, and then I look at my phone, and then I just see a bunch of like notifications. Eric Ten Hag sacked. I was like in the car, and babe. I was like, yo. So I start playing some drill in the morning, and I'm just like dancing. I'm like, let's go. She's like, what happened? And I'm like, I'm out of jail, bro. Yes. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, you wouldn't understand. This terrorist is out of my club. Finally, like, it was such a relieving feeling, man. And the exciting part is what's next, who's next,
Right.
and how will they approach it. And we got not even finally, it's just so quick. It happened in like 6 hours, which is not for me. It's like I'm not used to, and as you guys, as United fans, we're not used to something like that happening so quick. Usually they take forever to make an appointment.
Yeah,
So at least Ineos is trying to rectify their mistake, and that's the least that they can do, and they acted efficiently, which made me a little bit like question why couldn't they act that efficient in the summer. Whatever the case may be, I'm sure it'll come out and stuff like that. But regardless, Ruben Amorim is going to be the new manager of Manchester United. Mo, I want your thoughts real quick on what do you think about this appointment? The system that he plays and the type of manager that he is. Is it a good thing, a positive thing? What are your thoughts?
yeah. For me, I think Ruben Amorim is a good manager because I've since like we got linked to him, I've been following like Sporting Lisbon, and I've realized that he likes to play 4-3-4. That's his setup. That's the kind of like setup that he likes to play. But my problem is that system gonna work in the Premier League? because you have a lot of elite, like good managers that have come to the Premier League that have struggled. Like Eric Ten Hag, with all due respect, he wasn't a bad manager until he came to the Premier League. So my question, the big question I have is, can Ruben Amorim prove himself to be the manager that he has been at Sporting Lisbon? Because remember Sporting Lisbon having won like a Portuguese title in 19 years until he got there, and he's managed to win them like two Portuguese league caps before coming to Man United. He's proven himself that he's a winner at Sporting Lisbon. Can he live to that like accreditation in the Premier League? That's the big question that I have for myself that I keep on asking. Because before Eric Ten Hag came, we were all excited. I'm not gonna lie. I was excited that we have Eric Ten Hag because looking at what he did at Ajax, the kind of like setup he had, bringing the youth players in, taking like the likes of Delete at the age of 18 years. Delete was playing Champions League final. He was the captain of Ajax. Anthony was the name, Mohamed Kudus, and all of those kind of players. But he came to the Premier League. He did well in his first season. We finished second in the first season. On the second season, we finished eighth. And then in the third season, just within 9 games, we are 14th on the table. So it should be Amrin coming in just to give us like, okay, I'm here. Might just manage with the magic. He might just manage to get us in the top four this season. And the next season, he just goes back to Eric Ten Hag. Or is he going to maintain that standard? For me, that's the big question that I keep on asking myself. I'm excited that he's here, but can he live to the demand of the Premier League?
I think what Eric Ten Hag did wrong, and what Ruben Amorim is gonna hopefully, let's see, but what Eric Ten Hag did wrong was not apply the same system that he did throughout Ajax, because he said it in press conferences that he's not gonna play Ajax football. He's gonna play the football adjusted to us, and I think that was his biggest mistake. And I found that hard to believe because he brought like most of his players from the Eredivisie and most of his players from Ajax, and players that can play his system, but then he's like, I'm not going to be able to play this system. What Ruben Amorim has to do is come into this team and drill the system into the players. Whether or not it works is yet to be seen, right? But as long as the manager has a philosophy and the players have a philosophy of how to play, I can be happy with that, and I can come by that. You know what I mean? But yeah, Patty, what do you think, bro? Like this whole appointment.
Well,
What are your thoughts, bro?
I kind of want to piggyback off of something that Mo said. I think that Ten Hag wanted to implement a certain type of system of play that would work in Holland, but isn't going to translate to the Prem. The Prem is there's a lot of parity in the Premier League. Any team could beat any team on any given day, and it's not like Holland, or it's not like the Portuguese league where who's gonna kind of be in that same mix of contenders, title contenders. It's not like La Liga where it's usually the same two teams all the time. Let's be real here. The Prem, you're always going to have a pretty interesting mix of guys, and I think that trying to apply tactics that worked at Ajax to Manchester United might not translate. The other thing too is he also didn't really have the full personnel that he wanted. Now, we could go on and on about a bunch of different managers that didn't have the guys that they wanted. Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Oli. I mean, the list goes on, right? Of the guys that, said, well, we wanted to sign this guy, but we didn't sign this guy, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, you're a manager. Your job is to manage. And I think for as much as Ten Hag meant well, and I think for as good as he might have been on his first season, it didn't translate to the next season. He didn't adapt, and he didn't work around the injuries and kind of just use the injuries constantly as a crutch in his press conferences. And look, injuries to important players makes it difficult. It absolutely does. But your job is to manage, and your job is to figure it out. And especially when you have an academy that's as robust with talent as Manchester United's.
Yeah, 100%. And that 3-4-3 formation. Um, it's like the new. What I like about Ruben Amorim is it kind of like the new wave of manager, right? It's like the new modern wave because football evolves, and the whole formation that Eric Ten Hag used with the 3-1-6 left the midfield very exposed. So the 4-3-4, I could only expect this to be a little bit more compact. But the question is, do we have the players to actually suit that system? What do you guys think about that? Because obviously we're gonna have the three center back system now as opposed to the four, unless he adapts and does another formation, which I doubt. I think he's gonna come in and stick to his guns as he should. But in that 3-4-3 formation, what do you guys think? Like, do you guys think that we would have the players to adapt? Because it's a mystery. Like right now, we're just so used to our players being played so bad, and coached so bad, and now that there's actually a system and it's a little bit different. What do you guys think about that? The 4-3-4.
Oh, it's kind of funny. Like it's kind of funny because these are new crop of players that most of the players, I would say, like I'm say 30% or 40% of the players that we have in the squad at Manchester United are Eric Ten Hag players. Ruben
Yeah.
Amorim, I don't think most of the players can fit in his style of play. Where is he going to fit Anthony? Does Anthony has a place in the team?
He's a
It
left. He's
depends.
gonna fit him as. I think he's gonna fit him as a left wing back. Because if you think
It's
about it,
Anthony. You saw the reaction that he had when Eric Ten Hag wanted to bring him to play in the left wing back. He was
so
angry, and that picture went viral. That reaction went viral, and I don't think Anthony won. The best thing is probably like, okay, Anthony should be out of the squad maybe by January. He should go back on loan or something like that. The rest of the players, for me, I blame this on Ineos as well. We just have to like manage the results that is going to come in against Chelsea. If we manage to get a draw against Chelsea, I'm not gonna say like it's bad because he might want his own players because he has a
Yeah.
different style of play. So he might try to manage until January, and he's gonna force Ineos to do one or two signings for him. Even though now we have sporting directors that they wouldn't sign the players that he will recommend, they will want to sign players that would suit the playing style that they, like Ineos said that they will detect the stand of play that the team is gonna Man United is gonna play. So I'm sure in January, then Ashworth and Co they will do their best to bring one or two players in just to help him like boost the squad. But with the crop of players that we have, like I keep on saying, Ten Hag is not that bad manager. Look at the chances that we lost against the game we played on Sunday. If against West Ham, if Diego Dalot, what's the name, Ganacho, Rashford took their chances, come on, Eric Ten Hag will still be at Old Trafford by now. So we don't blame. I don't. For me at the moment, I don't blame Eric Ten Hag solely for what happened. The players are supposed to take like some responsibilities for what they did. Most of the players are not like United standard. I'm sure most of the how many of our players can get into Manchester City starting 11? That's how you should rate our team. If none of our players can get into the Manchester City starting 11, then you should know that then our team, like the squad there's a big question mark with our squad. How many of our players do you think can get into the Liverpool starting 11? That is the standard we have to rate. If now Real Madrid wants how many players from Man United can get into Real Madrid starting 11? If none, then there is a big question mark with our squad that we have. So there is a lot of work to be done. It's a lot for me. All I want is for us to qualify like for Champions League next season, and then maybe we might just hope for something bigger from next season. But all I want, I just don't want us to finish like maybe sixth or eighth or something like that. I just want to get into the top four, and then like whatever comes, I'll be okay with it.
the good thing about it is that we're actually gonna have like like a system or style. Because I wanted to jump on what you said about like would any of our players get into the City squad or Liverpool. No, but the answer is no, not at the moment. But if you put him in a system that can work, like look at the players that City has: Kyle Walker, Akanji, Ake. Are these guys like world class players? No, but if you put them in a really good system, then they'll work. Like for example, City. How many players do they have that are kind of like superstars besides like who Holland, De Bruyne, Phil Foden, and right now Rodri. Who else? That's a lot. That's a lot of players. Don't get me wrong, but the Doku, Grealish he's a good player, but he's not like a world beater. But it all comes down to the system and how and obviously the structure of Man City. So we could only think positively and move forward. That the structure of United is gonna move like an actual club, and as well as have a system for these players, and the system will expose the bad players, and the good players will thrive. And this is why I'm happy and I'm confident, because the bad players won't survive, and we'll be able to easily pinpoint, because we already know some of the bad players. Like Pat, I know you said in the beginning, you said Rashford is gonna have like a 30 goal season.
I
uh
was hoping.
and that's an L that you got to take. But who knows? Who knows? Because it might happen. We don't know yet. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But some of these players aren't, like Bruno hasn't been good enough. Like you said, Mo, Anthony. Can this guy like put him in a system that can work? For example, Anthony. I think Anthony's left-footed, and obvious, and he's very good defensively as well. And in that wingback system, hear me out. In that wingback system, as a because the way he plays is with the two wingbacks that expand the pitch and that widens the pitch, and he needs a left-footed player on the left and a right-footed player on the right. So Anthony wouldn't have the responsibility of taking on the players like he used to do as a winger and being so inverted. The reason why I feel like Anthony failed is because he was trying to play as an inverted winger when it wasn't his. I felt like it exposed him. But if you play him on the left, I think he can do something. You get me? So there's like things that you can do, tweaks that you can do, and put players in the system. So what do you think, Pat? Like this 4-3-4 or the 3-4-3 formation is different. You know what I mean? I want to kind of
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that and how some of our players will thrive. So yeah, what do you think, bro? Who do you think is gonna
I
thrive?
I think the younger players, I think Kabi Menu, I think absolutely is going to continue to thrive. I think Garnacho, Lenny Yoro, like guys like that, I think that they definitely have a high ceiling and they're only going to get better. Bruno as well. You have the sporting connection, you have the Portuguese connection there as well. The thing about Amorim too is, he's also a disciple of Jose. And I know Jose is a very divisive character in football, but there's one thing that people can't deny. It's that the guy's a winner and he knows how to get the job done. And I think that that was something that Ten Hag couldn't really do consistently. He would do it sporadically, but definitely not consistently. Um, who knows if Emerim's even going to bring this formation to United? He could change it, he could blow it all up, and then just start from scratch. I
That's
think
what
it's going to be,
that's what's surprising. That's what's like curious. You know what I mean? Like, is he
yeah,
gonna use that? You know?
yeah, absolutely. I think Toby Collier is another guy that's going to benefit too. I
Toby.
think he's going to continue to improve as well. Wheatley as well. He's another one too that I think is going to get some time, especially with these cup competitions. But I mean, look, I think that Amorim is going to come in. He's going to be everything that Ten Hag was not, in the sense that he's going to get on the players' cases if they're not performing, and he's going to bench guys, and he's going to do what he's going to have to do, but I don't think he's going to do it in the way that Ten Hag handled De Gea or handled Sancho or handled Cristiano. I think he's going to do it in a different way. And
But
I
what makes
think
you say
that,
that? Like, what makes you say like that he's gonna do that? I'm just want to hear your thought process on it. Like, you said, oh, he's gonna do
well,
that.
he's younger. He has a better understanding of these players too, and how they are. He's closer to a lot of these players' ages. The mentality, I think, is there more so than it was with Ten Hag. Ten Hag, I mean, what was the name? Benny, I think it was Benny Johnson. He
McCarthy?
was one of the coaches. Benny McCarthy. There you go. Benny McCarthy had even said that tactically he's incredibly astute, but he doesn't have that thing that, let's say, a Sir Alex would, where he would give people the hair dryer or he would say stuff like that. He didn't have that in him. That wasn't him. And I think Amorim's going to have that in him. And I think that Amorim is definitely going to get these guys to play the way that he wants them to play. The other thing too is, let's ship out this dead wood already. Luke Shaw. I love Luke Shaw. I think we all love Luke Shaw when he was healthy and he was capable of doing things. But his time's up. Too many injuries, too many setbacks, too
Too many
inconsistent.
pizzas.
Too many pizzas too, you know what I'm saying? And Victor Lindelof is another one. Has Maguire, even though he gave himself a little redemption arc, Harry Maguire is another one too. He's got to go. You got to get rid of all these guys, all this dead wood that was from previous managers that have been there a very, very long time. And Rashi, I will always. I know I have to take an L on Rashi so far. I do. We still have plenty of season left, and I do have hope. And I will never, ever, ever be sorry for believing in a Manchester United player, ever, ever. I will always believe in our guys, and I will always believe that they have the ability to overcome and succeed. But Rashi, what's happened? What's happened? I mean, like, what's going on here? Can Amorim get him to play to his best? Can he get Bruno back on track? Because this isn't the Bruno that we're used to seeing. So I think a lot of those questions and what they do in the transfer windows are really going to determine what happens. But I think that's further ahead. I think right now what we need is just the consistency, the confidence, the belief. Because how many times this season so far would we get ready to watch a United game and go, I don't know, we could lose this one. We'll be lucky if we draw. That's not how we should be thinking as Man United supporters. We shouldn't. We should always believe that Manchester United has a chance to win. And I think getting that consistency and getting those players to really bust their ass and go all over the place, I think would make the difference. I mean, the West Ham game, Mo, you brought it up. We had a lot of chances to win that game. We had a lot of chances
We
to
could
win
have
that
easily
game.
won that game. Easily won that game.
Easily. And for whatever reason, once the goal came, and then the phantom penalty, which I'm still a little mad about. Once that came, it's like the guys just turned off. They just completely turned off. Like, we went through the motions of trying to attack, but they just turned off, and you could see how dejected they were. We can't have that. We can't have that. We got to have these guys going out there and giving it their all the time. And this is what I would like to see from Amorim. And hopefully, if he can bring that with him to Manchester United, and we can get some consistency back, then we can deal with the future and the transfers and everything else.
Yeah, the West Ham game was it was very frustrating. Even the Fenerbahce game was very frustrating because like even though Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce squad wasn't that great, we were just so frustrating to watch. Like we couldn't like we couldn't defend very well. We couldn't like create we created chances out of like individual brilliance in my opinion and not like patterns of play. Same thing in West Ham. Like there's very few goals that we've scored. We haven't scored enough goals in to begin with. And I think that the players just like Dallo, like when he missed that, I was like, bro, he's doing it on purpose at this point. I was like, there's no way this guy's gonna miss this. I can freaking score this goal right now. I could
Yeah,
score this, but he just and you saw his face. He just like kind of like upset, but at himself, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's like the players have checked out. So what's gonna happen is the new manager's gonna come in, and he's gonna like they're gonna have a new manager bounce. Is what's gonna happen, but
yeah,
what has to happen is it's gonna last for like a little bit, and then we're gonna get once we get in like December, January, when it starts getting like really like three games a week, 2 games a week type stuff. That's when it's really gonna show like okay, who do we need to get rid of? Who do we need to bring in? What positions do we need to bring in?
We are in
And if
that period already, Kev. We are in that period already. We're playing 2 games a week already, and you seen the
there you
weakness
go.
of the club already.
yeah,
Exactly. There you go. And and do we have the squad depth for it? You know what I mean? Like we're gonna have to depend on Lindelof. We're gonna have to depend on Luke Shaw to come back. We're gonna have to depend on Maguire, Evans. When Euro comes back, these are all young players. We're gonna have 3 center backs now. You know what I mean? So it's not like 2 center backs. One gets injured, you get the other center back. Now there's 3. So now we're gonna have to be playing either. I would play Luke Shaw in a center back position. I could play him as cover.
But
You
Luke
know.
Shaw's injured. Like I keep on asking myself, like
yeah,
there should be a lot of big question mark about Luke Shaw because he was injured before the Euro started, and he came on for England. He played 2 games in the Euro. He played the final. He played the semi-final and then the final, and then he's gone off injured again. Since the Euros till now, Luke Shaw is not back. There's a big question mark about that. Like you should know most. I feel like most of the players didn't want to play for Eric Ten Hag. That's what I think because I read something online that after that Cristiano Ronaldo incident, like Cristiano was even banned from going to the dressing room, and most of the players were not happy about that. And since then, like things were never the same at Man United because we look just like injured. Like I keep on asking myself, is he really injured or like he doesn't want to play? How can you go off injured like for a very long time, come and play for England for 2 or 3 games, and then you go off injured again?
Yeah, I
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if like he fell out with the manager because the old manager, thank God. But Eric Ten Hag would fall out with so many of the players. You know what I mean? And as much as you want to say about like Sancho, he also fell off with Rashford. He fell off with Varane. He fell off with Casemiro, and that's not something that you need in a manager. So I think I've read somewhere that Ruben Amorim has like a really good relationship with the players, and like you said, Patty, he's younger, and
yeah,
he's a young manager, and
How
he
would he
would
say
kind
again?
of
How would he say
he's
again?
39.
yeah,
39.
yeah,
39. That's
That's
a very young. He played with like Lindelof in Benfica. He played against Paul Pogba when he was in Juventus. He's just been in managing for
But
five
can he
years.
handle the pressure? He's a good manager in Portugal, but
Yes,
can he deal with the pressure in England? The media, the
exactly.
tabloids in England, bro, they are so draining, bro. After a Premier League game, Monday morning, like they review all the games, and if one manager starts to show weakness, bro, They're just gonna go on him, and he's only 39 years old. Do United have that structure to support him, like psychologically, mentally, behind the scene? Do we have that structure now? Even though we have like this Omar Berada and Ashworth and co, but do we have the system behind the scene that can help this gentleman? Because probably he might be a good manager, but if he comes to the club and like he doesn't have the basic support, he cannot thrive at the club. He will just be another failure like Eric Ten Hag, and we will go in like looking for another manager again. For me, I didn't want Eric Ten Hag to fail at United. I really wanted him to be successful at United, but like the kind of results that we've been seeing for the past like season till now is it's too bad that like he had to go. But if Ruben Amron, is he gonna be an up like a replica of Eric Ten Hag, or is he gonna be an upgrade of Eric Ten Hag?
Well, the
Yeah.
difference is, in my opinion, we actually have a structure now, and I know people said that it didn't work out with Ten Hag and all these things, but that wasn't Ineos' choice. You know what I mean? Ineos brought people in to recruit. No, we could judge Ineos now on the signings of Xerxes. We can judge him off the signings of Delit. All the signings that we did, we can judge him on. So far, it's been pretty good. Like they've been pretty decent. Now we can really judge Ineos on their appointment on the manager. So that's the one thing for me that gets me a little bit like, okay, hopefully it'll be a little bit different this time, because we don't have bankers with a W running our clubs,
Yeah.
running our club and making decisions. Because if you think about it, Ed Woodward and all these people, what would they have done? They would have just put in Ruud van Nistelrooy as interim until like January, or till like
Yeah.
maybe the end of the season, and then like find the right manager, or whatever. And like that's what they did. They appointed Ranić when they got rid of Ali, and they didn't announce Eric Ten Hag until April. So it's always been like a big gap. But what Ineos have done differently this time is just act efficiently. Like, look, we're not gonna waste any time. This guy's gone. He's gonna be interim for like 1 or 2 games
Now they
max.
did well.
Now
They
he's
did
coming.
well with signing Ruben Amnon within 24 hours after like sacking Eric Ten Hag, like bringing a new manager within 24 hours. It's one of like the best thing that Ineos have done so far. But if you ask me, I have a lot of question marks about Ineos. I want them to be successful at the club. But I have a lot of question marks about Ineos. One, sacking Sir Alex Ferguson from his post. Sir Alex Ferguson has been the face of United for more than 30 years now. We grew up knowing Sir Alex Ferguson. If you ask me, I was born like 98 and that kind of thing. I grew up knowing Sir Alex Ferguson as the face of Man United. Sacking Sir Alex Ferguson from the dressing room, like it's a big question mark. Trying to rebuild Old Trafford, wanting like the taxpayers' money to be built with Old Trafford is a big question mark. With this decision, like backing Eric Ten Hag from the summer to now, most of the signings that Eric Ten Hag, even the summer signings that we did, most of the players that came in were Eric Ten Hag's players. Delete was Eric Ten Hag's player. What's the name? Mazraoui was Eric Ten Hag's player. What was the name? Joshua Zeski played in the Dutch league, so Eric Ten Hag probably knew him as well. Manuel Ugarte, I don't know. That's the only thing that I might say. Manuel Ugarte and Lenny Euro are the only two players that I think like, okay, Ineos pulled that string. But the rest of the players that came in are Eric Ten Hag's players, which is like a decision that like he's been given too much power since Ineos taking over. I thought like they could take everything. They could take away the signing power from Eric Ten Hag. But it seems like he still had that power. I don't know if you get what I mean. He still had that power even after.
Yeah, but I think it was because of the contract. Maybe it was like, how the old contract, maybe they gave him that power, and maybe they couldn't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Since it was already like his contract basically hasn't expired yet. So maybe they couldn't, maybe they had to keep that in there. If not, they had to maybe get a new contract. I'm not too sure about that. It could be that, but you're right. They can't give the manager like so full power. But we've seen it. We've seen it with Ugarte. This manager didn't. Our old manager didn't want Ugarte. Eric Ten Hag didn't want him, and it shows because he didn't play him in the last
Yeah.
few games.
And
You know.
even letting Scott McTominay go to Napoli, like for me, I think like it's a big mistake because Napoli, looking at last season, Scott McTominay was our second highest goal scorer last season. How do
Yeah.
you let him go? Cristiano Ronaldo before Eric Ten Hag came in was our highest goal scorer, and we let him go, and then we let Scott McTominay go, and now we are struggling with goal scorers now.
Yeah.
If it was to me, I thought like maybe Ineos would have hold on with the appointment and wait till the end of the season and get Unai Emery in. Because for me personally, I was thinking like, okay, you should get someone who has been in the Premier League before. Ruben Amorim is a good player. He's a good manager. Looking at his CV, he's achieved a lot. He's done a lot. He's learned a lot. But I would have wanted someone who has been in the Premier League before, someone who knows the terrain of the Premier League, who has the experience of the Premier League to take over like with this pressure of Man United. I think like Amorim has been given a lot to do with at this time. Like he has a lot to do with. His first game is probably going to be against Chelsea, a very good Chelsea side at Old Trafford. And imagine if he loses to Chelsea at Old Trafford. Imagine what like it's going to be like. The people will start reacting to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna go, Mo, to the
Yeah,
game?
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm going. I've got my tickets already. I haven't gone to Old Trafford since we lost to Tottenham 3-0. But now that we've gotten Eric Tenaga, I've got my ticket like I think 2 days ago or something like that.
I
Because
was
I'm near
supposed to
to
go.
game.
I was supposed to go to the Chelsea game. I was supposed to be there. I had it planned,
Yeah.
but this they kept this manager, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend thousands
No, it wasn't worth it. Like, yeah.
to go see him, and then now he got sacked. So I'm probably gonna go next year against Arsenal. Maybe I'm thinking and stuff. But
Mm.
yeah, hopefully we're a lot better by then and more stable and stuff like that. But yeah, Pat. What do you think? Like, what managers were you like touting? Like, when this guy got sacked, like, do you think was Ruben Amorim your first choice, or what? Did you have other like managers?
No, no. I first of all, anybody but Southgate. That's number one. Uh, Anybody but Southgate.
That's it.
I'm glad we steered clear from Southgate. But I mean, I thought it would be Tuchel. I really did. I thought it would have been Tuchel. Tuchel to me, he's a proven manager. What he did with that Chelsea side, winning the Champions League with them. I mean, PSG is a dumpster fire, so that's I don't know. They got bad luck or something. I don't know what they got going on over there. But he would have been the guy that I would have picked. A guy like Unai Emery, I think, is a good choice too. But I think that the thinking is with Ineos maybe might be that we've gone with proven managers already. We went with a Louis Van Gaal. We went with the Jose Mourinho. And then realistically, even though I wasn't personally a fan, uh, the best football we played was with Oli. Honestly, I mean, I'm more of a Jose guy. I'm not gonna lie, because I like the shithousery. Can we curse on this show? Can I say
Yeah, of course. You
shithousery?
can
Okay,
hell yeah.
okay, good to know. So I always like the shithousery, and that's why I was always a Jose guy. Plus, Jose is a winner; he's a proven winner. But
And he's played in the
stylistically,
prem, and he played in the prem as well.
right?
He was prem proven.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, I know people were divided on the Pogba thing. I mean, we all saw how that played out eventually with Pogba and everything else. And so I mean, I thought stylistically, the best we looked, the most attractive we were, like watching it, was under Oli. And wanted to go with a younger manager. They wanted to give a younger manager a go, and I think that's probably why Amorim is the guy now, instead of going out and trying to get a more established manager.
Yeah, and
You know,
if you look at like how he is, like he's kind of like the new breed of manager where the Xavi Alonso, the Xavi Alonso's kind of has that same formation, like the 3-4-3 kind of formation, and then on the when they attack, it's when they defend, it becomes a five. It becomes like a back five, but the 3-2 kind of remains the same. You know what I mean? So that's like maybe they're looking at it as like this guy is gonna is gonna modernize the way we play because
right,
football is evolving. So maybe that's why they went for it instead of going through like a Jose Mourinho or a Van Gaal, like you said,
right.
like a proven manager that has like an older style or something like that.
They
Maybe
they want a
that's
more modernized approach, and let's be real, Xabi Alonso is never going to come to us. He's a scouser. He's never going to come to coach United, and plus he's holding out for the Real Madrid job. That's what he really wants.
Really? Is
So,
that to Real
uh,
Madrid?
no, Xabi Alonso, not
Okay,
Xavi
yeah, yeah,
Hernandez.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
not Xavi Hernandez. Xavi Hernandez, I think, is just kind of just hanging out, waiting. I mean, supposedly they had spoken to him about the job, but he had some issues with his family, and I guess he didn't want to come in the middle of the season. Then the pipe dream, obviously, is Zidane, but Zidane doesn't want to come to
you saw
United.
his son. You
You
saw
know?
his son wearing the United jersey, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Xavi's
yeah,
son.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I thought
that's
it was
that's
him.
smart though.
I
No,
thought it was
yeah,
him when it happened. I
yeah,
was like, "Yo, Chavi's coming," and I wanted Chavi to be honest, like, but because I just
yeah.
wanted to see good football. But I don't know too much about Amarin. Um,
Well,
I didn't know
Xavi did a good job with Barcelona. If you look at
he
the
did.
team now, the way they're playing with Hansi Flick, the way he bought up Lamine Yamal, the way he bought up a lot of the academy guys that they have over there, Kubarsi, he nurtured those guys. He won a title with those guys. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, if you look at, and I'm not a Barcelona fan by any stretch, but the similarities in the ethos of the clubs, giving young kids a chance. You look at Barcelona's best teams, they were filled with academy players for them. They were filled with guys from La Masia. You look at United's best teams, it was filled with cornerstones of the academy. So the philosophies are similar in that sense, but I think Amorim is more in line perhaps with what they really want to do. And I think they want a more modernized approach to how we play. And he obviously seems to be the best guy for them. I mean, look, we're just fans, right? We don't get paid to do what Ashworth does, Wilcox or Barada or any of these other guys. So, I mean, we can speculate all we want, but I mean, if he's the choice that they have as far as modern managers are concerned, that would be good. Nagelsmann would have been all right too. I think Nagelsmann's a good manager,
Mhm.
but who knows what the situation was there?
It's because
That-
he's managing not Germany. My bad. He's managing
yeah,
Germany.
he's still with the
Oh,
team.
he's managing.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
still with the team.
okay.
I
But
wouldn't.
do you think
Not,
Ruud what's the name? Van Nistelrooy would have done good with the team? Because looking at his CV before coming to United, he did so well with PSV before coming to United, and he worked, I think, just like less than 1 month or 2 months with Eric Ten Hag. Do you think he could have been able to manage the team?
I don't think so. I don't
I don't
think so.
know. Yeah, I
Who
don't
knows?
know.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. But what do you guys think about him? You think he's gonna stay, or you think they're gonna get rid of him too? Because it looks like Ruben Amorim is gonna bring his own
Yeah,
guys, as he should, because he needs to. If he's gonna apply a system, he needs, you know, his
yeah.
guys to apply it.
I think he's leaving.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
so.
Ruud's leaving. Yeah.
No, I think in the middle of the season as well, because they just signed him during the summer. You think they will just let him go as well with Rene Heke? Because
They probably don't want to. They
if Van
probably don't
Nistelrooy
want
wants to leave, then Rene Heke has to leave as well because they are the supporting coaching for Eric Ten Hag. So if Ruud Van Nistelrooy is leaving, then Rene Heke probably will leave as well, and it's going to cost United money as well because you have to terminate their contract.
Yeah, that's something that Ineos have to take the L on. Unfortunately, they went to back this manager. They gave him the coach that he wanted. They gave him Ruud van Nistelrooy and all these. Ruud van Nistelrooy could have been managing Burnley. But he turned it down to come assistant manage United, and for what, a month or two, or to manage United for like one game or two. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think there might be I think there might be a plan for him, but I'm not too sure if he wants to do it. Depends on what Ruben Amorim and his coaching staff and or maybe they give him another role. I don't know, but yeah. What do you guys think about the game tomorrow? You think Rude is gonna set up the team similar, or how do you think he's gonna set up that team?
Oh, it's gonna be a difficult one. Is Bruno Fernandez available for tomorrow?
I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Bruno is
he.
going to be available for tomorrow. I think it's going to be an easy win for Ruud van Nistelrooy at Old Trafford. It's going to be an easy win because anytime we have like a change of a manager or a takeover manager, it's always an easy win for them in their first game. Michael Carrick had it like an easy win his first game. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had it easy win on his
They were
first game.
balling out under Ali when they when they
Yeah,
left.
Did 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 Giggsy win his first game as a caretaker manager?
I don't
I don't know
remember.
if I don't remember if Giggsy
I
did.
don't remember gigs. I just remember about Michael Carrick and Ole Gunnar.
Hmm.
And they did well like during like their takeover period in their first game. So I think it's going to be an easy game for Ruud van Nistelrooy. And the fans, they know like we are having a new manager coming in. So the players, everyone will give 100%. Because if you want to win or you want to have a starting place in the new system, you just have to prove. Because I know Ruben Amorim will be watching from behind the scene tomorrow. If probably he's going to be at Old Trafford or he's going to be in Manchester,
That's a good point. Yeah,
he'll be
that's a good
watching. I think he'll be part of the like planning of tomorrow's game. So
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an easy win.
yeah.
He'll
Hope
probably be introduced tomorrow, I think, at Old Trafford, and
Yeah.
and I think that the players will respond well to Ruud because of his status as a player, as a legendary player, and I think he's definitely going to command the respect of the squad as well. And yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a win against Leicester for sure.
I feel like how like when your parents let's say like your mom was like the nicer one and your dad was like the more strict one, and then he was just very, he didn't let you do anything, and then you had to ask your mom for permission. I feel like that's That's Eric Ten Hag, right? And he's gone now. And now Rude is like the mom that lets you. Okay, it's okay. You can do things. You know what I mean? You can go. Where go party, just don't come back late or whatever. So I feel like these players are gonna be like, yes, like finally, there's not a dictator. So they're gonna. I think they're gonna ball out. They're gonna have that confidence and trust with um with Rude Van Nistelrooy and stuff. But you're right, like you said, Mo. Ruben and his staff are going to be looking at that game, and these
Hmm.
players are going to want to, if
Prove,
they're
yeah,
Man United players, they're going to want to prove
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So
The big question is Sunday playing Chelsea. We've all known Chelsea has been like one of the best teams in the Premier League, even though they're not on top of the league, but they've proven to be like a title contenders this season. Can we beat Chelsea
Yeah,
hands down at Old Trafford?
yeah, yeah.
That's the
is
big question. Like, can we
is
beat
Ruben
Chelsea?
there for Sunday or no?
Oh,
Is Ruben Amarin going to be there or not?
possibility he's going to be in the dugout on Sunday. I'm very sure about that. He's gonna be like in the dugout on Sunday.
Is
Yeah,
he going to be
Fabrizio
managing?
said.
Well,
Oh no, Fabrizio said they're working to process this as quickly as possible so that he could be in Manchester within the next 24 hours.
yeah,
So yeah, I
So that
expect it.
means that means that if all things go well, then he's going to be probably managing the team on Sunday,
on Sunday, yeah.
which would be insane. If we beat Chelsea, bro, I would be so happy, bro.
Beating Chelsea Sunday is a must, bro. We have to beat Chelsea.
Yeah,
United is so bad at the moment, but to beat Chelsea, come on.
Bro, all these Chelsea fans,
yeah,
all they do is this talking the
Narrate
big
yap a lot, bro.
talk.
They talk a lot.
I can't wait, bro. I hope we beat them comfortably. We could be like, bro, like, even with the one first game under a new manager, we still were able to beat you, man. Like, and we're 3 points behind them. If we win, we're 3 points behind them. The season is not over,
yeah,
guys.
And imagine if you lose, we are 14th on the table now. So imagine if you lose again, you're gonna end up on the 16th or 17th in the table as well. If we
yeah,
Yeah,
lose against Chelsea,
but the season's not over yet, guys. Like, we have
yeah,
a lot.
it's over. Yeah, but like,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
I
man. We have
mean,
a lot.
I think we have to stay as optimistic as possible and kind of just see what comes of this. I think the stability is just what we need, a style of play, an identity. We need to see that from the players, and I think if we can get that, that's fine. I mean, finishing in the top four, I think would be really, really great. I think it's something to aspire to, but let's see what we look like, and let's see if we could just get that stability and we can just get that fight back. Because we look lifeless. We've looked lifeless thus far. Even the games that we've won, I felt like we've just barely won those games. Like we've kind of just scraped by, or luck has just gone our way, and
That's
I
happened.
don't
That's
think
been
that's
happening
enough.
since like last season, bro. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. And unfortunately, and look, I know that there's a very anti-United narrative amongst the media. I'm sure it's even worse in England, over here too. Anytime, I mean, because United gets clicks. United, hated, adored, never ignored. I mean, that's a fact. And we know that no matter what, people are always going to talk about Manchester United, and they're going to be negative about Manchester United. But there was some truth to the things that they were saying. We did not look like we had a style. We did not look like we had an identity. There was no patterns of play. We look lost. We look lost. And I just want us to be able to just get something back, get an identity back, get a pattern of play, look like a team that actually cares. You know what I mean? And look like a team that's actually trying to win a football match instead of just show up and, make your money.
yeah, it's true. It's true. Even look at now in the Premier League now. Playing at Old Trafford is not that scary. It's not that dangerous. Teams wants to come to Old Trafford because they know it's easy to be United at Old Trafford. Now, even any team that goes to Villa Park is scared. Are you going to lose at Villa Park or are you going to play a draw?
Yeah.
That's the only two things that you think of Villa Park. But no one thinks of going to win at Villa Park apart from Man City. I think Man City is the only team that beat them. Man City and Liverpool were the only team that beat them at Villa Park last season. Majority of the teams that went there was draw. And even this season, I think they've not lost any game at Villa Park yet. But look at Old Trafford. We lost 3-0 to Tottenham at Old Trafford. We lost 3-0 to Liverpool at Old Trafford. Just this season, we were up 2-0 against FC20 at Old Trafford. And then we ended up playing 2-2 or whatever. Now we've lost that identity. We've lost that credibility of like that United, that command that we used to have. We've lost that in the football in the Premier League.
This guy, bro, has caused more pain to our club. This guy has set us back so much. This is why I call him a terrorist. This is why it's not Eric Ten Hag, is Eric Ten Laden, because this guy has caused he's caused us a lot. You know what I mean? And he set us back a lot. There's a lot of healing and a lot of fixing that we need to do. His players, he brought in his players. He brought in Mount. He brought in Anthony. All these players so he can get a
Mason
tune out of
Mount.
them.
Mason
And
Mount. What are we gonna use? What he's done a lot of damage to the club. What are we going to do with Mason Mount now?
exactly, and Anthony, and the financially and all
Yeah.
these things that this guy has done to the club, and he's allowed clubs like you said, Mo, people to come here and be like it's a brothel, it's open range, just open their legs and seven goes, four goes, five goes. Have you guys ever like experienced a time since you guys have been a United fan that we've been just so easy to play against? Like when has that ever happened in your lifetime? That's what I want to say. Like
Very
Eric
few
Ten
and
Hag
far
has been
between.
exactly, and Eric Ten Hag has been for me the worst manager, worse than Moyes, bro. For me, the worst manager that we've ever had by far. So this is why I want to give Ruben Amorim the time that he needs. Um, and people saying, oh, you're gonna do the same thing to the next manager, or you're not gonna give the next manager time, and all these things, bro. We gave this guy enough time, and he showed us that he was doing more damage to the club. So what I like about this appointment, at least, that it's like this season he's coming in, not even midway, but he's coming in um, sometime in the season, and he's gonna be able to assess the players. He's gonna give everyone a chance. He's gonna be able to assess the players, and in a way, it's good. That way, when the summer comes, or January comes, or the summer comes, he's gonna be like, listen, these players are not it. This player can do my system. You've seen it. Get rid of these players. I need these players, and together with the board, hopefully come up with a cohesive system and a cohesive plan on how to move forward. So that's for me, that's the good thing, right? Like this season is not, it's not like it's free reign, not from, because it's not a free reign, but at least it's the positive is that he can be able to assess the players for hopefully to be more prepared for next season, as opposed to just coming in preseason and not being able to like know who's going to be able to adapt to the system. You know what I mean? Because this is the first time we've ever appointed a manager like throughout the season, because we've always appointed interims and then appointed actual managers, but this is our first appointment for an actual manager in the season. We've never done this before. I think like Sir Alex, but dude, we weren't even alive. You know what I mean? So yeah, I
I
think that's.
was. I was two.
Oh, you're too. Yeah, you remember. But
But
yeah, man.
United have done well, like from the management to the fans. Like we did well, everyone did well. We all supported Eric Ten Hag 100%. I'm not gonna lie. With the fouls, like with the results that we've had, the bad results that we've had, we supported him for almost 3 good seasons now. Look at Chelsea. Since Tom Bradley took over Chelsea, how many managers have they changed? They've changed managers like more than seven, eight players, because they can't afford like to waste a lot of money. If you come in and they give you like within 6 months, mid of the league, if you're not performing your resources, but they'll just get rid of you and bring another one in. And within those process, they managed to finally get someone who is good. Enzo Moresca, he's been there since summer till now, and look at it. He has transformed the team, remove the bad players from the team, and now you could see the type of football Chelsea is playing now. So I think Ineos has done well. Like the whole United setup with the fans, we did really well to support Eric Ten Hag, and I think Ruben Amorim is at a safe place, because like United want someone that will be there as this is our manager, not like Chelsea that will be changing everyone. Like every 6 months, we're gonna change a new manager. United want someone to have that Sir Alex Ferguson status, someone who will be there permanent, not someone who like not a club that will be changing players every now and then. So I think like Ruben Amorim is at a safe place. United is a home for Ruben Amorim. I just wish him good luck, and I just hope he'll be successful at the club.
Yeah.
Nice words there by Mo. Nice words there by Mo. But for me, what I disagree with you, Mo, is uh, there's nothing wrong with the way Chelsea and Real Madrid and Bayern, well, recently Bayern, but in the history, there's nothing wrong with sacking and changing and chopping and changing managers. For me, I think the days of like Sir Alex being here, or like the days of Pep And Pep, with the exception, because he's a phenomenal coach, he's like a generational coach.
I'm sorry about that. I just had to get that out.
That's right.
No, but he is. Let's be honest. And Klopp too was a great
I'm
coach.
sorry, man. I don't think Pep saw that, to be quite honest. I think he's a
Those,
benefactor of really good circumstances, whether it's Barcelona or having
no,
an
you're
open
right. He is.
checkbook.
No,
I
you're right.
respect
He is.
Klopp more than I respect him, honestly. And he's a cheater, 115 charges.
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. But I guess my point is, I don't mind changing the manager. Like if Ruben Amorim doesn't work out, it's fine. Like sack him and get another one. You know what I
Him.
mean?
My problem is if we keep on changing managers, imagine the cost of, like, how much is that money, like, is that changing of manager costing the club now? How much has United spent on Eric Ten Hag signings? We spent almost 600 million pounds on Eric Ten Hag signing. Ruben Amorim is here. If these players are not good for his system, he would definitely want a new set of players. And United, how do you think we bought Anthony for 90 million pounds? Which team do you think will buy Anthony for 90 million pounds? No one will pay that amount of money for Anthony. How much did you buy Joshua Zeski? If Joshua Zeski doesn't fit Ruben Amorim's system, we just have to let him go. And do you think he might command the same price that he came to United with? No. That's why, like, okay, United, we want at the moment, like, United want someone like Tom Bradley, like, he's just in for the results, but we want someone that will be there for a long term. But Tom Bradley is just in for the results. Imagine if Enzo Maresca doesn't do well at the end of this season, he might probably get rid of him. Look how what's the name? What's the name of your coach now? The national team coach of England, United States now. He
Like
was at Chelsea before he left.
Pochettino.
Pochettino. Look how Pochettino.
Pochettino, yep.
Pochettino. He transformed Chelsea within 6 months, but they got rid of him at the end of the season. These people, they just want results. By United, we are in for a long term, like someone who will be there, someone who will help to transform, like from the women's team to the academy to the first team. That was Eric Ten Hag was doing. And if you could be honest with Eric Ten Hag, we were getting the results. The academy was performing. The women's team was performing. The only problem was the men's team. That's why I was saying, like, most of the players in the men's team have to take responsibility for Eric Ten Hag's failure. The likes of, what's the name, Diego Dalot, the likes of what's the name, Rashford, they've been underperforming, like, since the beginning of this season. Let's speak of this season. They've been assuming Rashford got his form at the start of this season. Diego Dalot scored most of the chances that he had against West Ham. I'm sure Eric Ten Hag will still be at United at this moment. So most of
Thank
the players have to
thank
take,
you,
like,
Diego Dallo, for missing it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hold on, I got you. Hold on.
I think what Mo's talking about is it makes a lot of sense, and I think too the other thing is just mentality. I mean, look at a guy like Johnny Evans, for example, right? Johnny's best footballing days are behind him. He's a great mentor, great leader, wise senior player. The legs aren't what they used to be, right? But Johnny Evans said it best in a post match interview where he said that playing for Manchester United is a privilege. And that's the mentality that these players should have, that playing for a club like Manchester United is a privilege. And you should go out there and you should play like that. And you should fight for that badge. But I feel like we have too many guys that are fighting for the back of the shirt and not for the crest that's right here.
Well,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
all those things that you guys are saying, like for example, like the mentality, and Mo, where you're saying about the whole, if you can't keep chopping and changing because everything that's happened, we have to look at the men's team. All that has to change with the board and Ineos. Ineos has to be the one to come in and change all that. You know what I mean? So this is why, for me, when I put a lot of scrutiny on Ineos for not sacking the manager, is because of that. Because who takes care of all these things is them. And no matter how much how much I hated Eric Ten Hag as a manager, I had to put the blame on Ineos because they allowed this to happen. You know what I mean? So hopefully with this, because let's be honest, guys, the damage that the Glazers have caused is been, and they're still in the club. Let's not forget this. Let's not forget that these guys are still in the club. But the damage that they have caused so far is a lot. It's gonna take years to repair. You know what I mean? It's gonna take a long time to repair all the players that we've gained from the previous regimes, all the wages that we've given. It's gonna take a while for Ineos to clear. So this is not like just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just take over and I'm gonna just pick up where we left off. Like, no, you're gonna take over. You're gonna take over a disaster. You know what I mean? A crib. Like, it's like if you take over a crib, you buy a house, and the house is like almost like the walls are like old, they're moldy, and you have to change everything. You have to change the structure. You have to remodel everything. It's gonna be a lot of work, and it's gonna take time. So this is why I know it's gonna take time, but at the same time, it's like we don't have, there's a lot, there's so much to do that we shouldn't be wasting any time. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, I wanted to get rid of the manager. So far they did. They just got to keep that,
Yeah.
they got to keep that consistency with it, and then hopefully we can be up there in a couple years, man. So let's hope, man.
Paddy, let me ask you something. If
Sure.
if if Ruben Amorim underperforms this season, would you want him gone at the end of the season, or you want to give him another season again, like we do with Eric Ten Hag? If
I
he
see.
underperforms
Okay,
this season,
so I see both your perspectives, right? Like I see Kevin's
But
perspective
I
of
wouldn't
like,
I wouldn't
hey,
get rid of him. I wouldn't get rid of him if that happened though. I would give a manager until like at least
yeah,
like 18
I'd
months
give
or
him a
two.
full season. I'd give him a full season. You know what I mean? And I would give him at least a summer transfer window to get his thing right. And Mo, like I agree with what you're saying. Like the instability, the constant instability at manager, starting, stopping, starting, stopping, financially is awful. Definitely, it's irresponsible. But on the same token, too, think of all these players that you're learning one manager system, then he's gone. Now you have to learn another manager system. And look, they're professional players; they should be adaptable regardless, but there's going to be guys within the squad that are not going to be able to adapt just as easily. You know, there's going to be guys that, I mean, how many world class players do we honestly say we have at Manchester United right now? I mean, I hate to say it, you know,
no,
not that many, not that many, if any. You know what I mean?
no,
And
we
and and that's the thing. That's the thing. So I think if he doesn't do well, I mean, to me, this season's it's a write off. It is. I think it's a write off already. I'm going to call it a write off now, because I don't think we're going to accomplish any of what our goals are, which is finishing in the top four, which is potentially challenging for some type of trophy. I mean, we're still alive in the Europa League for as wacky as that new system is. We're still alive in the Europa League, right? We still have a chance at the FA Cup. We still have a chance at the League Cup. You know, let's give it a go. Let's see. It'll definitely boost morale. And that's what I thought, was happening with Ten Hag as far as it goes with us winning those trophies. But if Amorim doesn't have a good year, yeah, I think we should definitely give him a full next year and a summer transfer window and give him a chance to implement, his system, his guys, bring in the players that he wants, ship out the deadwood, get rid of Harry Maguire. I mean, I give him respect for being a good pro, but I mean, the guy's never been Manchester United quality, if we're being real here. He never has been. He never has been, you know? And to give him the captaincy, why? Because he's English? I don't know. I thought that was ridiculous. I thought it was ridiculous. But yeah, I think if Amarin doesn't have a good year, give him another go next season. Give him
Yeah,
another go next season.
we definitely have to give him time, 100%. Like for me, two years is more than enough. If in 2 years there's he's not improving players, he's doing the same mistakes like favoritism, not choosing the right players, for whatever reason or what, or he was, the thing about Eric Ten Hag, he was so stubborn, and he would have bad, terrible game management, terrible man management,
Nah,
and
he's so stubborn. Everything like he's so
that's what
stubborn.
I'm
You know
saying.
what? What made me want him to go? The game against, was it West Ham? We played one, yeah, against West Ham or one game that he used, what was the name, Mazraoui as number 10. You had Joshua
Oh
Zest
my
in the team.
god.
You had Amad Diallo on the bench, and you used Mazraoui as number 10. And Mazraoui has only played as number 10 just 9 minutes in his life at Ajax. And then you brought him to play at number 10 for Man United, and you had Amad Diallo on the bench. You took you changed the information, and you took Mazraoui off the number 10, and he brought Anthony in, and Ahmad Diallo was still in the bench.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy
Yeah.
deserves jail time. This guy
Nah.
And
deserves to be in jail.
Ahmad's been like one of the few shining lights thus far. It's like
Yeah,
this is a kid that should get time. You know what I mean? And you have Christian Eriksen, and even though Eriksen's legs aren't what they used to be, he's played a number 10. He's played
yeah.
in that role before. Mazraoui and that, I don't know. That was just
You could have picked three
yeah,
players before you picked Mazarawi. Three
hundred
players.
percent,
Nah,
hundred
Eric,
percent.
nah, Eric Ten Hag was there. Even look against Fenerbahce, against what was the name, FC Porto. Marcus Rashford was playing the game of his life, and he took Marcus Rashford off at halftime, because he was
Yeah,
keeping him for the game against Aston Villa. That's how bad like Eric Ten Hag. He was so desperate to keep his job. He was so desperate because he knew like anytime he lose a Premier League game, he knew he'd be gone. So he was desperate like to keep on getting results, either draw or win. But like the West Ham game like was so unfortunate. Like it was highly injustice because like I blame Diego Dalot and the referees. Like they cost Eric Ten Hag his job. If the referee hadn't taking like that penalty, and they would have scored. Eric Ten Hag would still be at Manchester chilling by now.
Thank you, thank God for that. But yeah, before we wrap up, thank God for Mike Oliver and Diego Dolo. I just wanted to say that real quick. But yeah, I would give Ruben Amorim, like, if I'll give him 2 years, but if I see the things that I saw under Eric Ten Hag, then that becomes unacceptable. You know what I mean? So this is why it's like I'll give him this. I agree with you, Pat. I'll give him a full year. This full year, it's kind of like a write off, like you said. Not really, but yes, it is really. And then you got to give him the summer, and then half of that season, if you see things that he's doing like Eric Ten Hag was doing, then for me, then I don't mind pulling the plug on someone who's giving you that type of delusion, of delusion, because that's not up to our standard. Now, hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully it'll be, this guy is actually better at doing those things, and little by little we see progression, and we can tell that that it's the players and not the system. You get me?
Right.
And that's what people kept saying on the Eric Ten Hag. Oh, it's the players, it's the players, it's the players. Yeah, maybe some of them, but the majority of it was Eric Ten Hag. He's the one that chose the players and chose the crap players that
Eric,
you're talking about.
Eric
When
Ten
they
Hag is
have,
also
like
like
you said, where they had Diallo in the bench, and he won. He
even
won literally Player of the Month, and then never saw him
even
again.
even let me just come in. Eric Ten Hag, he lost it. Trust me, he lost it. Look, he signed Lisandro Martinez and Delete, and the game against Aston Villa, he started Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire ahead of Delete and Lisandro Martinez. That's what shows like
Yeah.
the man lost it. Like he was so desperate for a win, and he didn't even trusted like his whole players that he brought, the players that he brought from IAS. He didn't even trust them. And I'm sure
Yeah.
if we still had the gear in the squad, he would have used the gear instead of Onana when Onana was making mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah. No.
all the players
I,
all the people who are saying like I wish Eric Ten Hag the best in the new club, bun that, bro. I don't wish him.
I don't hate him. I don't hate
No, I
him. I
don't
I
hate
mean,
don't
him.
wish him the
I don't
best.
hate
I wish
I,
him the worst. I hope he never gets a
I,
job ever again.
Nah,
This guy
you
deserves.
gotta give it time. Give it time, Kevin. Maybe
Nah, man.
once
I'm
the bad feelings
PSG,
die
man.
down, you know. All right, all right. It's fair. I mean, look, we're all in an abusive relationship with Manchester United. We all know that. You know what I mean? But the only thing I think we could ask is just beat the teams that we know we can beat, right? And compete with the teams that are that are higher up the table. Just compete, hang in there, and sneak a draw or get a win against Liverpool. You know what I mean? Get a win against City. Get a win against Arsenal. You know, which Patrice Evra had a great quote about Arsenal today. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah,
He
the
said
Netflix,
Arsenal. Yeah,
Netflix
he said
quote.
it's like a Netflix series. You're always waiting for the second for next season.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing every season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, as long as we're capable of doing that and we smash the teams that we know we can beat and we compete with the teams that
Yes,
are higher up
that's
in
what
the
I was gonna
table,
say. That's what I was gonna say. Compete.
I think we'd be happy for the remainder of this season. And we'd be a little bit more optimistic going into next year.
mm,
Cool, man. Sounds that I agree with you 100%, man. But yeah, before we wrap things up, it's been a great show. We got a lot of things out of our chests, and we got to talk about the future, and hopefully the future is bright. We'll see tomorrow how things work out, and Sunday, especially Sunday, to see if Ruben is going to be in charge. But even if Ruben isn't in charge, still the fact that Ruben Van Nistelrooy is going to be in charge, even if he's not, it's still going to be very exciting to see
Yeah.
how that pans out and stuff like that. So yeah, man. Before we go, any I guess closing thoughts, Mo?
no, it's been an interesting conversation. Like you said, we just let go of a lot of things. I had a lot of things to say. I was like buzzing, even though I haven't been able to record like my own content for a while now because of like there is nothing to talk about. It's always about Eric Ten Hag. So I'm excited. I'm not that excited that he's lost his job, but I'm excited that like we've taken a new direction now under a new manager, and hopefully like we might just finish top four in the Premier League. And hey, it's been an interesting conversation, Paddy. Nice meeting you, and I hope like we could do this probably maybe more often, probably maybe on
Yeah.
Mondays, or maybe we just fix a day and just do this more often.
100%. I agree. It's been a real pleasure. Very nice to meet you, Mo. And I'll definitely be following you as well. And
Yeah.
shout out to Anamarum. Shout out to the homies, Anamarum. All
And the
right. And
child
great
actors.
math. And the
And the
child
child
actors. All
actors.
right. And shout out to Alvin and the dirty studio floors. All right, that's all I gotta say about that.
But yeah, let's see if we can do like maybe like a Tuesday or Tuesdays are good for me, so like maybe we could set something up, like a weekly thing. It'll be cool, you know. Just there's gonna be a lot of things to talk about, man. 100%. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm down. If you guys are, we'll be in touch, you know, and then we'll hopefully find a date, and then we could do one with Chris. Chris could jump on,
Yeah, that would be nice.
once he's available and stuff. I want you to be my boy Chris. He lives in Secaucus. He's also a United fan, Pat. So sometimes we do the
Cool.
show with him, and he was Eric Ten Hag in for the longest. We would argue with him and stuff like that. So I want to hear his thoughts. So hopefully he can jump on next time, so we can talk more footy. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for coming on, man. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Good
much,
luck with the
man.
election, guys. Good luck with the election in America. I hope like the people that you support wins, like Camilla or Donald Trump, whoever you support. I just hope the person wins.
Oh, don't get him started. Don't get him started with the whole. Can you do Trump real quick? Can you do the Trump impersonation real quick before we go?
Well, yeah, Eric Ten Hag, a lot of people they're talking about him. He's doing a lousy job. I do the little accordion, the big accordion, the little accordion. I was Ten Hag out. I knew it. I always called it. Some people say he was one of the best people. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm Mango Mussolini, so that's what I gotta say. Tiny accordion, big accordion. You know?
That's typical Donald Trump.
Thank you. Great people, wonderful people. Ruben Amorim, very nice guy, wonderful guy. I met him a long time ago. Very great. Portuguese bread. I love it. I love it.
Yo, bro, that's an awesome way to end the show, man. But yeah, man, thanks you guys so much, man. Until next time, guys.
Yeah, peace
Peace.
out. Peace
Cheers,
out.
man. Peace.